Hi friends, how we doing today? So my beginning knitters, many of us were right at the very end of our last big project for knitting, which was to create a knitted bunny. So I'm going to show you how, after we've created this awesome little square, how we create a bunny out of that, okay? So love bugs, remember that this little pattern we cast on 20 stitches. We knit in our garter stitch for 8 inches long, so we have this square. So if you are wanting to try this at home, remember you cast on 20 and you knit for 8 inches, and then we cast off. We have our little square. I went ahead and I wove in my edges on the side, so now I have my perfect little square. So then let's get started to make our bunny. So you are going to take the yarn, same color yarn that you created with, and you're going to cut 3 feet or a yard of yarn. And then what we're gonna do is we are gonna create a little triangle, based a triangle in the yarn. So let me show you kind of what's gonna happen. We're gonna come across, we're gonna go up to a little point in the center, and then we're gonna come back down. So let me show you what I'm talking about here, loves. So I'm starting over, actually I'm gonna do it the other way because I'm right-handed. So I'm just going to bring my yarn through, but I want to leave a little bit of a tail. And now I'm going to skip a couple of here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bring my yarn in on that same row. And I'm going to skip again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring my yarn through there. Okay, skip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it up there, and then I'm gonna come it right on the edge. So I've now just taken my yarn and basted it through the stitches here, clear across, okay? So now I wanna make a triangle. So it's good to take your yarn, kind of eyeball it so you know where you're coming out. If you have stitch markers, you can put a little stitch marker there. If you want to, I'm gonna just put my scissors at the top there because I wanna know that's where I'm coming from. Now, we can't really just take it straight across, so we have to pick up some stitches. So I'm gonna come like at a diagonal. Here's a good place. See if I'm heading there. Yep, I'm heading where I'm going. Here's a good space. And I'm going right up to this point right here. Awesome. From here, now I'm gonna go down so it meets back up to this corner. All right, so I kind of wanna make it to the same. So I find the row, come down, pull my yarn out just a little bit from my needle. Find my row, bring it down, and take it right out the edge. There we go. So you can kind of see how we have this triangle of yarn going. So now here's where the fun bunny part comes in, because you're like, how are we making a bunny out of this, Miss Suzanne? So I'm taking my two pieces of string and I'm gonna start pulling and tightening them up. Boom! And look at that, my little bunny face kind of appeared. There's my ears. So now here's the fun part. We get to stuff up the bunny. So I have some fiber fill that I can use, but if you want to use scraps of old t-shirts, if you want to use scraps of yarn, whatever you need to kind of fill up. And we'll start out with just making the little bunny face first, stuffing that and pulling it nice and tight. And there he is, all right? So now I have this extra yarn, so it's like, what am I gonna do with this extra yarn? I'm gonna use this yarn to sew. So I'm gonna take the short end and I'm gonna stuff that right in there and have that be part of my filling, okay? But I'm gonna take my longer strand of yarn, I'm gonna get it basted back onto my needle, thread it back onto my needle, and I like to take 2 little tacks. I like to go right up at the base and connect one ear. So my ear is a little bit more pronounced, boom. And I like to come down the other side and connect up the other ear. Okay, And then I like to sew. I'm gonna turn to the side here and sew up the back with the head. Let's take a couple of stitches here. There we go. And if I flip it over, there's my ears for my bunny. And there's his little head. Look how cute. He's so cute and rustic. Okay, so now, here we go. Now what we can do is we can sew up the back, just like this. So I'm going to go back and forth, all right? So my yarn is on this side. I'm gonna come down a stitch and go across. Okay, I'm gonna come down a stitch and head across. Head down a little stitch here and go right across. And I can pull it nice and tight. So it's kind of nice and flat. Okay, I'm gonna turn my bunny again. So you guys can see I'm going across and I'm just sewing up the back of the bun. Just back and forth. Okay. And then we can put some more stuffing in there. All right. So there we go. There's that all sewn up, all right? And now we've got almost like a little sock puppet here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some more stuffing and we're gonna put some stuffing in the bottom part of our bunny. Okay, so we got the bottom part of our bunny, getting him all stuffed up. And then after we get him sewn up, we can kind of manipulate a little bit here the yarn that we want to make our little bunny. So there we go. So now we need to sew up the bottom. Now, let me show you how I like to do the bottom. It's kind of like when we did the triangle, the first part of our triangle, and we pulled. So I like to, if I have enough yarn here, which I do, I can come through here and kind of baste this through a couple, just like we did. We skipped a few. Put our yarn through. All around the circle here, the bottom part of our knitting here. Okay, take it clear through here, and then we can pull that nice and tight, just like that. Boom. Close it up. Then we're gonna squeeze down. I know you guys were always laughing with the way I kind of like, whoa. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew that in. Kind of weave that end in. Come down a little bit. Remember, we never want to not make a knot and then just cut it, because if that knot comes undone, then it gets kind of crazy. So we'll go up here a couple of stitches. And then my friend Evelyn thinks this is so funny, because the other thing I like to do is just take the needle and push it clear through to the other side of the bunny. Kind of pull it kind of tight. Take my scissors here. Kind of cut that tight there. And then your yarn is inside your bunny too, and it won't come out. So there's our cute little bunny. Look at that, friends, little brown bun. So it needs a tail. I already went ahead and made a little tail here, a little pom-pom that I will use my needle and go ahead and thread my needle through this yarn. Go ahead and stitch this right on the back here. Bring this yarn through. There's one side. And then find my other long yarn on the other side. And I like to bring that through to the other side. See how that is, friends? And then I like to pull it and give it another little knot. And then I cut this yarn and it blends in with our little tail. So there, my friends, is our little bunny. Look how cute he is. All right, there you go, love bugs. That's our knitted bunny, our finished product. I hope that it works out well for you. So don't forget, you cast on 20 stitches. You knit until your square is 8 inches long. Bind off, you have your square, weave in your little ends, and then follow the instructions in the video to create your bunny. There we go, send me pictures of him, all right? See you, lovies, bye.